Okay, so we are live on YouTube. I'll just be back in a couple of minutes. Okay, so it's almost 2. We're ready to begin. So good afternoon, Lucia. Actually, good morning, right?
Yes, that's correct. It's the morning here in Europe.
Great. So, um, uh, hello everyone, and welcome to this online profile building webinar fair, the final day. And I am Devesh Lati from the Next Genius Foundation. Welcome all of you. So a little bit about Next Genius. Next Genius is a registered charitable trust, and we help students with scholarships for their undergraduate education in the US. For the past 5 years since we have been in existence, we have helped around 117 students with scholarships, and all these students are now studying at one of Next Genius partner colleges. The application for this year's scholarship program is already open. So all of you who are in grade 12 or in their gap year, I invite you to learn more about us on our website, nextgenius.com. And as you apply to colleges abroad, as you apply to colleges in the US, you'll see that the colleges not see at your academic caliber only. You don't see only at your school grades or your test scores. They like to learn more about you. They want to understand how you are outside of the classroom, what are your extracurricular activities, and whether you have done any research, right? Research is an interesting way to demonstrate to the colleges that you are ready for college level coursework and with that higher level thinking. So with that in mind, we have Lucia Murillo from Pioneer Academics to share how a research project, how you can engage in research, credit-bearing research with university professors and or benefit from it. So welcome, Lucia, to this presentation, and please take the screen now.
Wonderful. Thank you, Devesh. Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I hope everyone is safe and everyone is doing well. We are all going through really difficult times. I have to say, we've been working for the last 9 years with high school students, and in this really, really difficult time, something that really inspires me is seeing high school students like yourself all over the world making the most of a really difficult situation, but trying to really keep going and taking advantage of the time that we live in, right? We are so privileged that we have this amazing world that we are living in. We are all connected. As the best pointed out, is the morning for me. I'm in Europe. Pioneer Academics had their headquarters in Philadelphia in the US, but actually, thanks to our technology, I'm able to work from here where my family is in these difficult times, and to just connect with all of you there. What I'm going to talk about is Pioneer Academics, what we do, the Pioneer Research Program, and I hope if you're interested that you also can look into it in the future. I can see the attendees. I'm going to be asking you every once in a while to just participate a little bit to see you have the chat there. So I might ask some questions. If you want to write on the chat, that could be great. And I'm going to make sure that I leave time by the end to address any of your questions. As the best said, you're getting ready to apply for higher education. And if you're thinking of applying to a US college, especially, but not only, also if you're applying to the UK or some very selective institutions in Canada or in Australia, maybe, you need to show who you are, right? This is not just about the test that you took and what grades you had in school. This is about what kind of a student you are. What we do in Pioneer is get amazing high school students from anywhere in the world to be able to conduct undergraduate level research as they are still in high school. So we are talking about a real challenge. We are talking about students who are deciding to really go beyond what's required of them. And within the Pioneer Research Program, they work in a system that allows them to show the kind of students they are in a very credible way. So we are the only online research program for high school students that actually has US college credit. Our partnership with Oberlin College allows us to have this system that really guarantees that the work that you're doing is actually at the undergraduate level that is required in one of the top liberal arts colleges in the US. So it's something that can be recognized by any university that you're applying to. We have 28 different areas, and that's also very unique. As Devesh knows very well, I visited India a lot, with a lot of students there. I know there is definitely a traditional wanting for the STEM fields, right? I get in some schools, and sometimes the counselors tell me, well, so let's see who's going to be an engineer, who's going to be a doctor, right? Always STEM. But more and more we're seeing students from India who are looking at other fields or even looking at the STEM fields, but from a multidisciplinary perspective. And that's really exciting. So we work with high school students. We are in really unique times. I know that some of you might be thinking to take a gap year. That's a thing that's not very usual also for an Indian student. I could like you to write in the chat the grade that you're about to start, right? I know that a lot of the schools in India are starting now in July or early August. If you can just write in the chat what grade you are in, or if you're a parent, what grade your children are in, to have an idea, that will be great. So we work with high school students. Most of the students take part during their junior year, grade 11, but also seniors or students taking a gap year, as long as they have not enrolled in college yet, they can benefit from the program. We review applications also for younger students. We've had some amazing students in grade 10, or some really only a few in grade 9 who have actually been admitted to the program. Okay, I can see all your replies. Thank you so much for participating. 9th grade, 10th grade, some seniors. That's good. You're all in range to consider the program. What we do is place these students, even though they are not going to a college, right? If you go to a summer program, you go to a university, you're taking classes there. This you're doing from your home while you're still in school. And we are providing the system that is gonna allow you to really have that standard that it's followed in a college, and not just at the basic level, like taking a lecture, but working one-on-one, engaging in undergraduate level research. So we are talking about the standards of the syllabus, the pedagogical innovation that the professors are going to engage in. This is all within the Pioneer system, and also the oversight, right? The academic experience is amazing, but definitely all of you are thinking, how do I use my time to prepare myself for college application and for higher education? Pioneer system includes the academic oversight that is at the highest level, definitely for college level work, and extraordinarily for a summer program for high school students. We are talking about academic integrity. We are talking about the guidelines of the support that you are going to receive. They are very clearly delineated in our system. So once you go through the experience, you can show very credibly the kind of a student you are, the kind of work that you can do at that level. Our students work first in a very small group, just 3 to 5 students with one of the faculty members, to get a brief on the research concentration that they are selected to work in. We are talking about research concentrations that are already very high level. So we are not talking just to physics at a college level. No, we are talking about optical diffraction patterns or gravitational waves. If you're studying neuroscience, even if it's something totally new for you, you're not just getting an intro, you're diving directly into the area that the professor is specializing. Once you have that foundation, after the 5 first sessions, you're going to work one-on-one, and you're the one who's going to decide what your research is about. And this is very important because I'm sure a lot of you have done independent projects in school. You have had to work on essays and some projects that are more elaborated. What we are talking about here is undergraduate level research. So not only you have the academic system that is requiring you to write at that level, to meet the standards in things like plagiarism, in things like citations, everything in your paper, but also is something original that's adding to the field that you're working on. And that's really unique for someone in college in their first years, but is extremely unique for a high school student. Once a student has finished the program, we are getting the students that certification, right? You are going to have an evaluation that includes full assessment from the professor you've been working with in terms of your accomplishment. What does your research mean? How you work with those systems that we have in place, but also how you were selected to the program. I'm going to give you some statistics from previous years so you have an idea of the selectivity of the program. I can tell you that this year, given the situation worldwide, our selectivity for the program has really strengthened. We are talking about around 15% of the students that apply actually being able to enroll in the program. That evaluation, the college credit, that's all something that you will be able to use in your college application, and not just in any way, but actually as a college you attended as a high school student, right? We're talking about college credit. We are not talking about another activity on your list, like your participation in some competition or your work with some clubs in your school. We are talking about college work that you have done as a high school student and a transcript from a university that's being used there. So I'm about the research fields, and I would like you to write in the chat now, if you don't mind, to participate a bit more. What areas are you interested in? What are you thinking that you're going to major in the future? Or maybe what topics are interesting to you? I can see the first one: physics, mathematics and physics, biology. Yes, what I expected. That's perfectly fine. So we have 28 areas available. Students can apply to up to 4 different areas, and they are admitted to a specific research concentration. What that means is that for each one of these areas, we are going to have very different research concentrations, and our admissions process is looking at what is the best fit for your interest, right? If you're interested in chemistry, for example, it's not going to be the same if you're thinking of becoming an engineer, or if you're thinking, well, I'm going to study medicine, so I would like to look at organic chemistry, right, and how it relates to biology. Each research concentration, we are talking about very high level work that you're doing with the faculty and through the program. So our admissions process is looking not only at, are you ready for a challenge like this, but also what is the best for your interest. Every student is undergoing a really thorough process, and our admissions committee is really looking at the best fit for what you want to accomplish. There's a lot of opportunities for multidisciplinary research too. That's why we also give you more options, right? We give you up to 4, that you will be finally accepted in a specific research concentration within a research area, but you are the one driving that process. And that's the important part, because not every high school student is really ready to go through that process of deciding what you're interested in and working with us and with your faculty to really find an original question, an original research topic that's going to be the focus of your paper. So I'm going to show you a short video where you can see some of the students talking about how they went from learning about a very advanced field to picking a topic that was unique, interesting for them, but also original and adding to that field they were working on.
And my research topic kind of evolved to this final stage. The first one is the role women play in religion education and other aspects. The second one was about how the planning of cities Jews lived in, or perhaps in a smaller scale, the planning of Jewish cultures reflected the conditions of the Jewish life. And the third one was the Jewish perception of space and place.
I used more than 30 sources for my Pioneer research project, and it included primary and secondary resources, as well as the opportunity to Skype with specialists in my topic. My professor actually connected me with specialists on my topic from all around the country. I developed my research focus within the broad subject by taking an interdisciplinary approach. I knew I wanted to also incorporate media studies with the women's rights studies.
So I decided to write a paper about how different types of different sizes and dimensions of slits are producing different types of diffraction patterns and how these diffraction patterns relate back to the shape of those slits. And my second part of the research paper was about how the matrices on MATLAB can be analyzed to show why the reciprocal space phenomena happens.
And my research topic at Pioneer was bacterial secretion systems with special attention to the type 3 topic. Every time I decided that I would go from just bacterial secretion systems and then secretion systems, and then the one that I wanted to focus on, which I decided already because of the type of bacteria that use it and where it's found in the human body and such.
And to see Brazil as one of those countries for me was interesting, but also to see the economics behind it and why that was happening as something that, as part of my paper. And being able to take that data, compress that data, analyze that data, and combine it all into a coherent paper in which you make your argument. That's something that has to be original, and something that even adds to the field is something that is quite challenging, but also quite rewarding after you've done it. And an interesting part of the paper is being able to use the history that I've researched and using the data that's out right now to be able to form an opinion and form a prediction about what Brazil's economy is going to do in the coming years.
So at some of the examples, remember we are talking about a really rigorous system. So it's something that for some of you might be a little early. Definitely you can look into that. We host online info sessions every weekend that are going to give all the details about the program, give you some tips on how to prepare a good application. And for any of you who are interested, I definitely encourage you to register for those through our website. But it's important that you understand you will be working with students from all over the world. Our admissions process is receiving applications from every country. This year has been obviously incredible in terms of the number of students that just had some other plans for this summer and had to move to online. But every year we already have students participating from 50 different countries. This is, if I remember correctly, the 6th year that we are having students participating from India. It's really amazing. And what we are looking at is your interest. What do you really want to accomplish? And your academic profile. We need to make sure that every student that is admitted to the program is ready for it. Not every student is going to be able to work at the undergraduate level, right? It's not the same as just completing an independent project or an essay. We are talking undergraduate level research. Yes, so you have some references. The last 2 years before this one, around 3,000 applications from 42 different countries. And those are the students that were selected. We're talking about maybe around 35% of admission rate. This year it went up. Remember, we are looking at your interests. We are looking at your maturity. Do you have the time management skills? Do you have the real interest and intellectual curiosity that is going to allow you to really thrive through this process? It's going to be a challenge, but it's definitely going to be extremely rewarding for the right student. We have 2 terms of the program. I always recommend the spring through summer term for students in India, because I know your school calendar. I know it's not exactly as the American, and the summer term is very intensive in July and August. So we know that this one will fit a little better. Our next term of the program will start in February next year. We will be hosting info sessions starting next week and taking applications and starting the admissions process. But basically the program is more spread out all the way through July with a break in basically May and early June, so that it matches a little bit better your school calendar, so you have enough time to really work on your research as you're having still a lot of things that you need to work on in school. The summer term, the only difference is that it's more condensed, late June through early September, and that can be a little challenging, especially for those of you that are now starting your junior year. Next year, you will be starting senior year in late July, early August. That's a very intense time for the students participating in the summer term. But anyway, remember, you have our online info sessions on our website. Next Genius will also send you a little email with a follow-up from about the program and some links so you know where to register for those sessions. That's all I'm going to talk about the Pioneer Research Program now, because I'm sure some of you will decide, well, maybe this is a little too much for me, maybe it's a little early, but I wanted to take this opportunity and thank again the Next Genius Scholarship Program for reaching out to us to be part of this. It's fantastic to have more avenues to talk with the students. I want to talk with you about an initiative that we took for this summer. As I said at the beginning, we've received an incredible number of applications. Our selectivity has gone up, and we realized that we're in very difficult times, and a lot of you really are looking for opportunities on what can I do with my time, right? If I cannot go to the summer program that I was planning to, if I cannot be volunteering as I was planning because I'm really on lockdown in my city. So we had a panel of our advisory. We got together with some of the faculty that know the program well, that know what a difference we as an organization can make for students. And we have started an initiative this year called the Pioneer Open Summer Study that is completely free. And any student that is willing to work at a high academic level this summer, they can just join. We still are allowing students to register all the way through August 1st. So you still have time if you want to consider it. You can see it on our website. You can see that banner up there that's talking about Pioneer Open Summer Study. What we did was think about what can we give access to students that is going to make a difference for them. So this is not a research program, but it's an independent study. We are giving you directly access to lectures by professors in 4 really exciting topics, and giving you the materials that the professors have prepared, so you can get together in a team of students and conduct your own independent project to really work on a topic that's interesting and that is current during this difficult time, and you can keep advancing there. It's important to understand this is not a Pioneer Research Program, right? We are not going through an admission process. We want students, as long as they are willing to work, as long as they are excited for the opportunity to be able to join. You have to form a little team with your classmates. We're picking 5 to 10 students in every team, and then you can get on board at any point. Doesn't matter if you're joining now, or we had students joining in June and July. You are going to have the guideline there to really help you with that. The projects that the students complete obviously are not undergraduate level work, don't have that overview and that evaluation, but you will be able to really pursue your interest and have access to really interesting resources that the professors have put together just for this project. We have 4 independent study themes that are circling around the situation that we are living in, from pandemics and globalization to studying what has happened before in other pandemics in the world, epidemiological societal impacts, that's looking more at how to develop a strategic response and how different countries are working there, and the forces driving sociocultural evolution that is looking specifically at how these difficult times are actually changing the sociocultural environment in very different countries. I can tell you that the professors are really have worked very hard to make sure that they are giving you the guidelines that you need. Just to give you an example from the first one, pandemics and globalization, the professor is working at the highest levels, is an adjunct professor at Columbia. And what she's doing is helping the students understand how our world institutions came to be and how they are interacting with the current situation. So what is the role of the IMF? What's happening with the World Bank? What are the possible scenarios that most countries are working on when it comes to economic recovery? And then the students are going to decide their own project. If you go to our website, you're going to be able to see all the information on the professors who have put together these 4 themes and all the information on how to register there. It's a really incredible opportunity for all the students that are interested, and it's something that you can start working on now. And you can work at your own pace, right? This is designed to be asynchronous. You're going to have recordings of the lectures. You're going to have all the materials there. And we have actually worked with some of our best alumni from the Pioneer Research Program, and they are acting as independent student advisors. So you will have also the support of some students who have conducted research at the level and that are currently attending some more selected institutions in the US and the UK, and that are going to work with you and help you make the most of the time. I can see some questions here. Okay, so typical for the Pioneer Research Program, we are not taking more applications for 2020. The program is well on the way, but we are opening already applications for 2021. First term will start in February. I want to thank you for your time. I'm going to go now to the Q&A part because I'm seeing I have already 10 of those there. So it's fantastic to know that you're working there. Devesh has already shared our website. Yes, we're going to have a little email with some of the information there. And we're always happy to hear from you, students, parents. I know there might also be some counselors. We are always happy to talk more with you so you can decide if the Pioneer Research Program is a good opportunity for you. So let me see if I can, oh, there you go. I can see the questions and answers here. Yes, the research program has a tuition fee that's including the 2 college credits that our students are receiving there. Again, on our online info sessions, we go through all the details, the commitment, the time commitment that the students need, what they need to prepare in order to have a good application, definitely for the students and the parents. I would encourage you to really attend one of those sessions. We run them every weekend at different times, so I think much you can attend the ones that are more convenient for you. The college credit is something that's really helping you in the college application process, meaning that you already have 2 college credits that are showing the kind of work that you have done, that you are able to work at that level. That's something you can see on our website. Also some interviews with previous admission officers from some very selected institutions. And they really talk about what it means for them to get the evaluation from Pioneer, right? We are talking about our partnership with Oberlin, but also the fact that we've had over 3,000 students right now that have participated or are participating in the program, and whose standards in the evaluations are very clear, right? We have rubrics that go across different disciplines. That's really, really unique. The fact that they can really see what level of work you have accomplished, regardless of if you were doing research on philosophy or on physics. And they understand what's the level of the work that they are completing. I'm seeing some question about the requirements to apply and the standardized test. Again, online info sessions will always be the best forum for that. I don't want to go into all the details for that, but just so you know, that we ask about the standardized test scores. That's another data point that we are using. We are looking at the transcript of the students. We are looking at their interviews that we are doing for the students that apply, and a lot of other information that those are not required. I repeat, any standardized test that we ask about in the application, be it SAT, ACT, or other tests, those are not mandatory. We know that a lot of students have not had an opportunity to actually take this test this year, and that is not something that we hold against the students. Every year there are plenty of students who are admitted and that actually don't have those scores by the time that they have applied to the program. The college credit is transferable across universities. In the US, we're talking about Oberlin College college credit, so that's recognized. Obviously, in the US, across Europe, I know some students have applied to transfer them, but it's a little bit case by case. Not every university is going to admit credit from other systems. Getting a question about the term. So I'm recommending the spring through summer term, right? Let me just show you again. You can go a little bit there. There you go. So our spring through summer term is starting in February, right? We talk about the first sessions of the program. We are talking about 5 sessions that are once every 2 weeks, right? Students are in school, very busy. We want you to have the time to really get that foundation, do your readings, do your assignments. So you have 1 session every other week. Mid-April through early June, you have a break. And June and July is when you're working one-on-one in your sessions to develop your research. This more spread out schedule is the one I recommend for high school students that are attending school in India, because the summer term is actually 10 to 12 weeks. Is roughly 1 session every week. It's very intense. We are talking at least 8-10 hours from the beginning of independent work that you're putting there. So if you're starting school in late July or in early August, that can be a little bit too challenging. That's not to say that we have students who have done it, the students in India from some amazing schools, and actually they've been successful. But we always recommend spring through summer, and after interviewing those that actually conducted study in the summer term, they think it's a little too challenging and it can be a little overwhelming for some students. So we recommend, as you're learning about this early for next year, it's better that you consider applying for the spring to summer term. Again, in our online info sessions, you're going to have a chance to see more of the spread out of how the work will do, and we will work there. Seeing the questions about the age group. We will admit, we will accept applications from students who are in grade 9. I can tell you that for soon it's going to be 9 years that we've been reviewing applications. Our admissions team has only admitted a handful of grade 9 students. We are talking probably around, I would say, between 10 and 15 grade 9 and 11 students from all over the world that have been admitted. It might be a little too challenging for them, especially because in the admissions process, they are competing with students who have had more of a chance to develop their academic profile, their academic maturity. That being said, we encourage the students to learn about the program early, to understand the application process, the timeline, so they can prepare to apply when it's better for them. Most of the students are participating in the program through their junior year, and sophomores are around 25% of the students every year. Then students in senior year, students who are taking a gap year, definitely are encouraged also to apply to the program, and it's a good option for them. The online application process for 2021 is just starting next week. If you go to our website, you can see there are the first info sessions for the 2021 process are going to start next weekend. And definitely I would encourage you to look into it a little early because February seems very far away, but we receive a lot of applications through the year. So applying early and after attending an online info session is definitely going to help you in the admissions process. We have a system of priority deadlines that will really benefit the students attending those info sessions. For the Open Study program, the Pioneer Open Summer Study program, we don't have an admission process. Our idea was to make this available to any student that really wants to do that work throughout the summer. We think these opportunities are unique for students and we want to help you in that process. We have some requirements. There are going to be that we have one student that is appointed team captain, right? You're going to take the responsibility to really move the process forward. And then they need to have a group, in total have to be at least 5 students. So the team captain and another 4 students. And they will appoint a high school teacher or a high school counselor as an observer. The role of the high school counselor is just to verify the students are actually working in the program, and if they want to have more of a role in your participation, that's perfectly fine. They're going to have access to the materials. They're going to see your work as you are working on it. But the registration process is very easy. We usually verify with the school counselor within a couple of days, and then you will have access to the learning management system and all the materials will work there. Yes, a school transcript. Yes, we ask the students to submit a school transcripts, what they have at the time of application, and as part of the admissions process, we will verify those transcripts with your school. And we are working with the students all over the world. We are very aware of how challenging this situation has been, not only for students, but also for schools. So please don't worry if you're thinking, oh, but I don't have my transcript from this year because the school is closed. They cannot have the official job in there. We've worked with schools all over the world all through this year to make sure that this will not disadvantage any student. We need to make sure that we are getting real and accredited materials. We are getting the real information for the students to be considered for the program. But we are working with schools all over the world to make sure that we get that information without creating barriers for the students to be considered for the program. Once we start taking applications, that is just next week, as I said, students can decide apply for the spring or the summer. If you decide to apply now for the summer term, your results will take a little longer, but definitely as soon as you're ready to submit those questions, those applications, we will be ready to receive them. Okay, I have a question here from Kunal. Great question. It's asking, in these difficult times, there might be research topics, right, that require equipment. How are they gonna, students have access to a lab, right? How can you do research in some of those? So I talk about the Pioneer system. I talk about our standards. I talk about pedagogical innovation. When the program started, our focus was the high level of research, right? We have the lab work. If you're thinking of the classic, what our minds goes to when we think of research is a lab, right? And a lot of equipment and doing experiments and then reaching conclusions. We thought, well, the really interesting part is those conclusions, right? So for that, you don't need access to a lab. That was the beginning, and that's true for a lot of students. They are doing work at a very advanced level. They are working on the ideas, on checking the data, on really coming with those conclusions. That being said, our pedagogical innovation, our system has allowed the faculty to do some really amazing things. And a lot of the students now actually can do some of that field research, some of that kind of experimental work without having access to a lab. I'm going to give you a couple of examples that are really incredible. We've had some professor in neuroscience that actually is teaching the students how to code an experiment, right? And the students are sending those experiments, and the experiments were run in the lab of the professor. So the student is getting the results and is doing the actual work of designing the experiment, getting the results and analyzing them without ever stepping on that lab where the experiments were conducted. A lot of projects in engineering, in physics, in math, they are gonna use some simulation software, right? So the professors are gonna teach the students how to use those tools, and they are gonna be able to have that part of experimental research within their projects. In chemistry, I remember this, a couple of the professors, and also in biology, that are giving access to the students to the results from their own experiments so they can really do the analytic part. So they don't have to go to the lab and do the actual repetitive work of doing the experiments in different conditions to be able to incorporate that experimental part in their actual research as they are working there. The last day to submit their applications. Traditionally, we will take applications for the spring through summer term until first week of January. I would definitely encourage you to follow us on social media because we give a heads up once the final deadline for each term is determined. What we are doing is looking at the cycle and deciding, once we know the number of applications and the spots that are actually in the program, Definitely, I would encourage everyone not to wait until the end. As I said, it's a very selective program, and applying late might really hinder your ability to be admitted to the program, even with a very good application, especially if the areas you're interested in are very popular. Fields like physics, computer science, every year, very popular, but also others like economics or business. Attending an online info session and following the priority deadline we will give you there is the best way to really ensure that you have a good chance to be considered while there are spots open in the areas that you are interested in. The best, I'm seeing a question about what makes your college application stand out. I'm not going to address that because you have a lot of information on the Next Genius scholarship program. Also, I'm sure your school will have a school counselor that can help you in that. The only thing I'm going to say from seeing all these students that have been taking part in the program and being admitted to amazing institutions and really moving on to amazing academic and professional careers. What I can tell you is it's not about making your application stand out so much as it's making your application show who you are in a credible way. What we do in the program is give the students that opportunity to really show what they are interested in and the real level of work that they are ready to do. Right? They are doing research at an undergraduate level, they are getting that college credit, they are getting an evaluation that the universities really understand what it means, what kind of work you did in the program, and it's showing who you are. But it's not profile enhancement, right? We don't want to make you look good. You don't have to look good. You have to look like who you are so you can find a good fit for you. Right? When you go to higher education, you're deciding not only what you're going to do those 4 years, but also you're opening a lot of doors in different places. You need to find a place not only that will accept you, but a place that you are going to thrive in, a place that is right for you. And definitely you're on time. There's a lot of work in getting prepared for that, but also think about it in the way like, how do I show who I am? And please don't worry if you are not like those students. There are always some students that are like, oh, I already know. I'm going to be an electrical engineer and I'm going to apply to this kind of company and this is what I'm going to do. Some students will need more time, but you need to show who you are, what you're interested in, what you are trying to figure out yet, and what you already know of who you are. It's more about that than really just make yourself stand out among all those applications. So I think I addressed all the questions the best. I don't know. I saw that you put, let me just remind you, I'm also going to put my email there in case there are any other follow-up questions, but I'm happy to hear from all of you. Remember, for the Pioneer Research Program, you're going to have time to prepare your application, but not let too much time go, as we have a lot of students applying every year. For the Pioneer Open Summer Study, you have around 10 days. Remember, it's not an admission process that we're going to run. You just need to form your team, get your observer teacher, and just have access to all resources that we're putting together so you can really complete an independent project throughout this summer. Totally free, that one, and open to any student that wants to really use that during these difficult times.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Lucia, for this great presentation and for sharing the information and answering all the questions. And I totally respect the work that Pioneer is doing. It's really amazing. And of course, students from Next Genius have been participating and applying to Pioneer, and they've had some great things to say about you. So it's always wonderful to listen to you and to learn more about your programs. The recent program that you have started, the summer program, is really interesting, and I'm sure students can benefit from that as well. To all the students and parents out there, I invite you to learn more about Pioneer by visiting their website, and feel free to write to Lucia and to ask for information. I'll once again share the website link here in the chat box so that all of you can, okay, it's already there. Okay, so yeah, so thank you again, Lucia, and I think we can close the call now.
Thank you very much, the best. Thank you very much, everyone, for being there. I know I can keep safe, and I hope to see some of you in our online info sessions. We are really looking forward to meeting you.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice evening. Bye.